Hey guys, it's Shawna. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's look, I'm going to show you how I did this halo eye with the Modern Renaissance palettes. I know I'm so behind on this Modern Renaissance train, but I just received it in the mail. I just ordered it honestly, and I don't even know why I didn't order this earlier, because this palette is the best palette I've ever used in my entire life. So I'm just going to get started. So I already did my brows, so I'm just going to prime my eyes with the Urban Decay Primer Cushion in Eden. And for once I'm using a primer and not a concealer. So I'm going to see what kind of difference that makes, and then if it does, then I'm probably going to stick to that. Alright, so now I'm just going to jump right into the Modern Renaissance palette. As you can see, it's still brand new. I literally just took off the plastic. And it's so beautiful. I can't wait to use it. So I zoomed you nice and close. So to start off, I'm just going to use the shade right over here in Raw Sienna. Just right over here, and put that as my crease and lid shade basically. These shadows are so pigmented. This is crazy. I don't know why I didn't get this sooner. Now I'm just going to take this shade right over here, which is in Red Ochre. Using that with the fluffy brush. Then I'm just going to apply that right over here, so right below the crease. Just tap that in right over here. And then also in the center here. I'm actually just going to use a smaller brush over here. Now you can see this halo forming. And to make it less choppy, I'm just going to take the excess and just connect them right over here on top. And I'm using the lightest hand to do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to take the darkest color of this palette, which is right over here in Cypress Umber. And this is the brush that came with the palette. And then I'm just going to define the halo even more by darkening out just the ends right over here. So the majority of the time I literally just tapped all the product on. And then when I have no more product on the brush, I'm slowly bringing it in. But as you can see, after I put that brown shade, I'm losing a lot of that pink undertone. So I'm just going to go back, and instead of using this shade right over here, I'm going to use this one, which is the more pink one. And just lightly, very lightly, just going over that by tapping it. As you can see, it gives this really beautiful pink hue to it. I'm just going to take a clean brush and just make sure everything is blended at the crease right over here. Okay, now for the center of the eye, I'm going to add more of that primer. And I always open my eyes to check what it will look like. And this doesn't have to be perfect, because you can always go back and darken the ends. So as you can see here, I put way too much, but that's totally okay. Now that I put the primer on, I didn't set it or anything because it's tacky, so I could then apply the shimmer shade to it later. But before I do that, I'm just going to take the same brush I used for the darker color. I didn't add any more product to it, but I'm just going to blend it in the harsh lines from that primer. Then I'm just going to use the shade Primavera right here, and I'm just going to pat that on to where I put the primer in. And since the primer is tacky, it adheres to the pigment so much better. Then I'm just going back with the shade over here, and I'm going to tap out the excess on this one, so I just need a little amount for this. and then I'm just going to blend the entire crease over. Then I'm just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm just like tapping the brush so lightly into the palette and tapping off the excess. So I like need almost no product for this. Then with the light hand, I'm just going to blend that all in. And as you can see, this makes such a big difference to it, even though you're doing something really subtle using a light hand. But it just brings back those warm red tones. It also just blends the entire eye look at the same time. Then I'm just going to highlight my brow bone. So I'm going to mix the shade right over here and also the matte shade over here. And just the brow bone in the corner here. And for the inner corners, I'm going to use Primavera again and just highlight the inner corners here. And to balance out the eyes, I'm going to go in with this red ochre shade again and mixing a little bit in with the shade right over here. And I'm just going to place that on my lash line here. Just like that, so it balances out the eyes. I don't have any like foundation or concealer on right now, so it looks kind of crazy down here. But don't worry, I'm going to fix that. But then to further darken it, I'm just going to use the darkest shade right over here with a flat brush and just closely line this to my lower lash line right here. Just the outer part of it. So it doesn't look like my eyes are way too swollen because we are using the pink and red tones. So you have to be careful with that so it doesn't look too like swollen eye-ish, if you know what I mean. So I'm just going to apply a light coat of mascara on my lashes just to prep them for falsies. Alright, so I did my foundation, my concealer, I set my face and also put on bronzer because that's usually the same every single time. I did my bronzer a little lighter this time since the focus is the eyes, so I didn't like chisel out my cheeks, I just like bronzed up my entire face basically to give it some color. And for the blush, I'm going to keep it something more neutral, so I'm just going to use the NYX Blush in the shade Glow, if I could find it here. I used this in my last video, still in love with it. I've always used it all summer since it has like the perfect amount of glow. It has a little bit of shimmer to it, but it's not too shiny. So I'm just going to put a light amount of that onto my cheekbones. And since it has this like peachy tone to it, when you put the blush on, it looks very natural and very beautiful. Just like that. And for a highlight, as the last step for my face, I'm just going to use the Carli Bybel palette from BH Cosmetics and then use one of her highlighting shades. I always use these two and mix them together. And just highlighting very lightly since the blush already has some shimmer to it. So I'm just enhancing that basically. Alright, so the face is basically done. Everything's done except for my lips. And I think I'm just going to go for a nude. I have so many nude lipsticks, but when I ordered my Modern Renaissance palette, I just got this sample from Bare Minerals. It is the Gen Nude Radiant Lipstick. Just get rid of them and to try them out. I'm going to use the shade right here on the bottom, which is Sex Pot, which is this beautiful brown nude. I love more the brown nude rather than like the pink nudes and the peachy nudes. So I'm going to just rip that out of the sample. Alright, so after a million years, I finally opened up the little sample. I'm just going to use a brush for this. So I'm just going to load up that brush and then apply that onto my lips. And this is like a super nude. I didn't think it was going to be this nude. And I don't know how I feel about this lip. I feel like it's a little too nude, but I'm just going to go with it. Because I guess it tones down the rest of the look and just makes it focus on the eyes today. So yeah, that's about it for today's look with the Modern Renaissance palette. And it's actually my first time using it today because I just got in the mail yesterday for my order. I don't know why I haven't gotten it earlier, honestly. It was pigmented, it was creamy, it went on like literally a dream. I think it's because of the red tones. I was really scared of using them because I didn't want it to look like I had like swollen eyes or anything, but honestly, I love it. Like, I'm honestly so mad at myself for not having it earlier. But yeah, I finally have it now. So you guys are probably going to be expecting more videos on eye looks with this palette because I'm going to be playing around with it even more. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon. Bye!